YouTube, how are we doing? Hopefully everyone is good. It's been a minute. I feel like I got a lot to update you guys upon, but thank you for tuning in. We have another solo YouTube Q&A. So obviously, as you can see, my hair's a bit curlier. The perm has been permed. I have competed. I have won my first show, won the overall, and basically that's the only thing I actually need to update you guys upon. Away from that, no one's here for me as a bodybuilder. They're here for me as a direct content creator who's going to be doing the solo Q&A extravaganzas. Now, I don't have loads of time, unfortunately, guys, so I imagine this is probably about 30 to maybe 40 minutes. The hour-plus episodes will resume basically when I get a fucking minute. All right, I would love to do more of these, but unfortunately, like, my evenings recently have been basically just taken up with a lot of just little bits of bobs here and there, getting things ready for weekends, travel plans, etc. All the stuff that no one cares about. Everyone's busy. So basically, let's just get into the video. Now, we have a few weeks worth of questions, and I'm going to be honest, I think I am, especially in the off season, and I want to kind of get your guys' opinions. I want to set up, and people will hear this and go, some people will go, yeah, really cool, and then other people will go, oh, I don't know. I want to set up that school membership site where I do exclusive school episodes of these for school members. It will be pretty cheap. I imagine it will be between £10 and £15 as an absolute maximum per month. But I want to do exclusive content that's just for that, where I do multiple per week. We get exclusive school people asking questions. I also as well want to do a whole content platform on all things bodybuilding, so PEDs, peptides, supplements, diet, training, going through my own preps, going through mistakes. And I kind of just wanted to put it out there, like, would you guys be interested? Because these videos always seem to do really well. Like, the views are great, the engagement's great, the amount of questions I get are great, and I would like to put it on a place where it's a little bit more sort of, I don't know, let's say situated towards actual bodybuilding, where, like, for example, let's say with stuff like this, I've seen a lot of guys' YouTube channels get shut down. They get reports because you're talking about stuff that potentially could be leading into the wrong sort of markets as well. Like, when it comes to direct content, like YouTube videos, you put them up and then after a certain period of time, that's it. We're having a forum, having a platform that I continue to add to on a subscription-based service for, let's say, clients and likewise you guys. I think it'd be really, really cool, especially when it comes to like the education side of things, because as much as I back myself from a bodybuilding standpoint, I back myself from a coaching standpoint, I do really, really enjoy the education side of things. Like, I think honestly, like, with the way I communicate, the way that I am, the content I enjoy, I personally prefer the education side of bodybuilding more than I actually prefer like the nitty gritty in bodybuilding. At times, depends. Like, I'm not, sometimes I just want to watch some people fucking throw some weight around, and for me, I fucking just love going into the gym and training. But I think, like, when it comes to like direct sit down, right, this is why I'm running this is how this is, I think that would be really, really cool, and have that on a sole platform would be really, really good. So yeah, if you guys can let me know, that'd be great. I will continue to do these. I'm not going to stop these just because of that. I will have YouTube, but I'll have more on there that I'll have a set time for. I have a set limitation towards, I'll have a set allocation of resources, aka time. I'll have a videographer that will video all the content and stuff like that, and yeah, I think that'll be the plan moving forward into the off season. So I did kind of just want to run that by you guys and see what you think. But nothing's going to change this channel. Nothing's going to change. I'm not going to stop doing these because I want to make money or anything like that. I want it where like everything goes hand in hand. If you like this sort of stuff and you want more, it'll be on there. So let's have a look. How did you gain so much knowledge? What a question to start with about bodybuilding. It's really impressive. I'd like to educate myself on it. Now, I think it depends really on, let's say, a lot of factors, but realistically for me, I have been doing this for a long, long time. Like, I am 27 and I have been going to the gym since I was 13, and I have watched countless videos. I have watched every single podcast you can imagine, to the point where, like, genuinely, I feel like if you said to me, hey bro, like, let's go on YouTube history, let's watch this podcast from 2017, I've probably watched it. I remember Sinai, I've used this example before, but we went to our first ever holiday together and we had a 3.5 hour flight back, and I listened to a 3.5 hour podcast all about sleep, just sleep, and it wasn't even bodybuilding orientated, it was just sleep. And she was laughing at me going, fucking hell, like, I'm going to watch a film, do you want to watch it with me? And I'm like, nah, I can educate myself, I can sit here and just listen to this. And that's how I've always been. And I've always been somebody who, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to take it to the extreme. I want to learn everything and anything about it. When I started out, I played video games, I was watching every single YouTube video on the most fucking broken tactics on Call of Duty. Then it was, let's say, similar when I was playing football. I was watching, let's say again, all the sort of like, let's say, best players constantly. I'd watch them before training. I would obsess over every single aspect of anything I've done. And the gym is kind of similar in regards to that. Initially it was training. It was like, right, how can I get the most out of my training? Then it was, let's say, nutrition. Then it was supplementation. Then it was PEDs. Then it was peptides. A lot of sort of stuff. And to be fair, speaking of things like school, I paid so much money to membership websites. I remember, like, I bought J3U, but it was a big investment for me at the time when I honestly wasn't earning at all that much money, but I saved up for it because I was like, I need to purchase this. When I was at university, I worked out how much I can afford to spend on membership websites, or likewise consultation calls with top-end coaches, so I could learn and gather more information. So investing within yourself is absolutely essential if you want to learn. That being said, there is so much free content out there. Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, let's say appropriate Reddit sources for anecdotal findings and stuff like that. School membership sites, I've subscribed to 3 or 4 of those at this point, and stuff like that. So yeah, do you use any caffeine pre or non-stim pump? Now, when I was younger, I abused caffeine. I feel like most gym bros have had the time of abusing caffeine to then scaling it back. So I have abused the absolute fuck out of caffeine. I remember I used to have genuinely 3 to 4 white monsters a day as a minimum when I diet. I would do 2 to 3 scoops of C4 pre that was like, I think 150 to 200 milligram pre, like before I trained obviously, and I'd wash it down, mix it in. I'd mix it with a white monster, and I'd put like a few scoops of like G Fuel that I thought was either caffeine free or a nootropic, but it most of the time had caffeine in. So I was doing like honestly 700 to 1.2 grams worth of caffeine pre-workout, literally most sessions per day or per week. And I remember never really sleeping that well, and I was just like, I wonder why. Because of that. Nowadays, I don't use any caffeine, stim pre, anything really, other than the occasional 1 or 2 sessions. I'd say every month I probably do a stim pre twice, I'd say, maybe every other week, and even then I can't remember the last time I actually did one. In the off season, if I'm training with some clients, let's say for example if it's me, like Finn Allison, Ollie Greaves, we're throwing some fucking weight around, having some fucking fun, shooting the shit, doing some deadlifts, doing some legs, whatever, yep, cool. If they're doing some stim, I'm gonna fucking do some stim. I'm not the guy who's gonna train with somebody and go, oh, I don't do stim pre. If I'm training with somebody and they're doing stim, I will fucking do stim, hell yeah. But on my own, I don't need stim. I'll just do a good amount of pump. I'm very into my pump pre's. I will do injectable pre-workouts. I'll do my IGF-LR3, my Increlex potentially pre-workout as well. I'll do glycerol, glycosize, a good quality 1 to 2 to 3 scoops of pre with a good amount of salt, pump pre, that is. So I'm very much a fan of the pre-workout window, but only for things that are non-stimulant use, really, because I don't really like the way that I feel afterwards. And especially like within a prep with like lipolytics and stuff like that, the last thing I need is fucking anything else to like drive me internally up. And to be fair, even if I'm not in prep, like my inner dialogue with myself is always, let's fucking go, let's fucking go, let's go, let's go. The last thing I need is more of that. Like, I like training when I'm a bit calmer and I can switch it on. If I go into the gym and I'm just fucking off my rocker, buzzing, so fucking focused, that's cool on a one-off basis. When I was younger and I didn't have shit to do. Now I train, let's say late morning, and I've got to be a functioning human for the rest of the day. I've got consult calls in the evenings. I've got to do videos like this. I've got to speak to people constantly. I've got to be in a gym and actually be sociable. Fucking hell, yeah. Owning your own gym and doing loads of stim pre, I'd be a mess. So yeah, not good. What would you do when you find out your coach copied your training from other clients? So I imagine this guy's paid for a coach. He's got then maybe the same plan as one of the other coach's clients, which, gonna be honest, is more common than you probably realise. Now, I will give the coach some leeway because realistically, when you do start, some plans are fairly similar. Like, if you fall into the sort of group of, let's say, people that are doing the same sort of stuff, and you might have some similarities. Sorry, I'm just putting this on charge. Hopefully that's not made an issue with audio or anything like Yeah, you might have some similarities. Like, not everybody, like, when I set somebody up, if they're a men's physique guy, I have 2 men's physique guys come to me, their plan's probably training-wise going to be fairly similar. Top-line focus, good amount of ab work, obviously less of a leg focus, good amount of delt work, obviously lower lat insertion, stuff like that, lower lat, like, sort of training and like, sort of thought processes, maybe slightly less hip hinges, maybe 1 time per week. There's going to probably be some carryover and similarities, but the coaching is what happens when you're 6 months down the line. The problem is if you get in a Matt Jansen and you get in the same drugs, the same supplements, the same food, all that sort of stuff, and that's where you're not it's not that good. Like, I would say, like, again, I have some guys that will probably have, oh bro, I've got similar pre-workout meal to you, but that's because they told me they're having chicken and rice and then some jam and honey on a crumpet, and I'm like, yeah, cool, let's just keep rocking with that. Likewise, let's say, I think the drug side of things is probably the only side that I think is a bit retarded, because like it should really be based off bloods and it should never really be the same. But like training is going to be at the starting point fairly similar. Like, I'll run similar training splits with some guys, but it's never the exact same, and the volume 6 weeks down the line is going to be massively up and down. But by the looks of things, like, what would I do? I would confront the coach. I'd say, bro, what the fuck's this about? Like, what's the crack here? And I also would kind of question, like, did you go into it with that understanding? Did you get a personalized video? Did you have it explained to you? Like, when I get a client on board, I have a full breakdown video. It's 20 to 30 minutes long. I explain the rationale towards why I've chosen what we're choosing, what we're doing, why we're doing it for his physique, and then go from there. If you haven't had that shit and it's just like a kahuna, is it kahunas? Is it kahunas? No, is it kahunas? What's the yeah, I think it's kahunas. It's like copy and pasted stuff that you just like drag down an exercise, and it's like, yeah, cool, there's your plan. And like, that's so easy as a coach to just fucking drag it down and go, yeah, cool, 3 sets of 2, 3 sets of 2, 3 sets of 10, 2 sets of 8 to 12, shit like that. And that's not that personalised, and not even give a breakdown. Like, if I got a plan from a coach and it's just like, there's your training, granted, at this point I probably wouldn't need training advice, but if I got something like that without a breakdown of why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'd be like, this is fucking shit, this is a copy and paste. So yeah, what compounds are you using right now? Looking solid as fuck, thank you. Gainabolic, sounds like Ganabolic, but not as cool. What compounds are you using? I am using Test, Mast, EQ, Tren, Anavar, and superdrol in peak weeks. That's that. And then a fuck ton of peptides, loads of GH. Yeah, sick. Might sound like a lot, but total milligram load isn't actually that high, especially for someone who's fucking 270 on stage, guys. Jeez. Right. How does Sanaya help you in terms of prep? So Sanaya is so helpful. Like, I would attribute, honestly, and this sounds, probably need to fucking pop an AI speaking of that, popping a Remidex. Sanaya has helped in so many ways, more than what people would know and believe, more than probably she knows, because she just keeps me grounded, keeps me stable, keeps me in a very positive headspace, and just essentially, like, just takes away stress from where things are. I would not be where I'm at in life, in business, in any way, if I was fucking chasing girls, didn't have a solid relationship, didn't have a solid foundation, and like, that's solely down to what me and Sanaya have crafted for ourselves. Like, through the day, we don't really see each other. Today we have, so I haven't even been in the gym today for, like, to be in the gym, like, opening up. Like, I've opened up the last few days, but today I literally woke up 2 hours earlier than her, cracked on with work. We probably have only had, honestly, I'd say 2 to 3 sentences today. She works, I work, we have the evenings together, but like, we bounce ideas off each other when it comes to prep. She'll tell me, like, when she looked at me post workout today, I had a big weight drop, and she was like, you look cool, condition looks cool, but you're looking small. Like, we need to feed you up slightly over the next few days. We need to not see too much weight come off with where things are. So like, as a result of that, that's gonna, again, like, just those little things, and just like, if I tell her something that I'm gonna do, she'd be like, no, you're being a fucking idiot. Like, you need to pull back, you need to chill out, you need to relax, or you need to do this differently, or whatever. So like, I would say when she comes to help, it's not like times of like help, like, she doesn't prep my meals, she doesn't make any of my meals. She makes my final meal occasionally, but like, she doesn't prep my meals, I do that. We're very independent. I don't rely upon her to gas me up and hype me up before a show or anything like that. Like, literally, she's just her own entity, and I'm my own entity, and we bounce off each other incredibly well. And I'm very, very grateful for what she does for me, even though it doesn't seem like there's objectively a lot there. There's so much. So yeah, thoughts on taking T3 and no T4 in prep? Well, yeah, you could take T3, no T4. Like the problem is that T4 naturally is going to convert to T3 as you get deeper, or it's going to convert T4 to T3 as you get deeper into a prep or a diet phase. Your T4 conversion downregulates. That being said, if you have, let's say, as external T3 or utilizing T3, the thought process is like you've already got your T3 that's going to be supplemented through thyroid, like through thyroid support. So do you really need T4? Maybe not. But I also would say as well, like ideally you want to keep a good balance between them. Ideally probably like a 4-to-1 ratio. So for most people, that's going to probably be either 37.5 T3 to 150 T4. In most cases, 25 T3 to 100 T4, just to keep things stable and keep things as is. Ideally, we want to mimic where your body's going to be naturally most sort of situated on its own basis of just general day-to-day life and not dieting or not bodybuilding. It's the same reason why we'd want to administer hormones in a daily fashion, because that's going to mimic our natural secretion of hormones. So these are things you do kind of have to consider, okay? But yeah, I think you definitely could get away with it, that's for sure. If you had to build your legs from scratch, what would your exercise selection be in order? So honestly, I'd say if you've got no legs, keep things really simple. Do an adductor, calves if need be, at the start or at the end of sessions. Do a leg extension and hamstring curl out the gate, probably hamstring curl into leg extension. For both of these, I would be prioritizing slightly higher rep ranges. Make sure you're getting a really, really good internal feel, not chasing load. And then I would do either leg press variant, if you feel better with leg presses, where you're maximizing load exposure, then into a squat variant to maximize knee flexion, or the other way around. And I'd honestly say those 4 exercises will get you a very, very good set of quads. Or get a set of legs. You then can add in, let's say, some form of 45-degree hyper, some form of hip hinge, a single leg press, a potential lunge, a additional leg press, hip press, etc., more volume, whatever it's going to be. But I would say, like, if you can't build a good set of legs off literally a hamstring curl, a leg extension, a leg press, and a squat variant, then something's going wrong. So yeah, that would be that. Right, next one. See why you never hit a front double. I did. The show the previous week was actually the show just gone. First time I actually liked a front double. My front double was okay. I hit a front double post workout today. I'm actually not going to show you because I've got the questions up and I'll lose them. But I was actually quite happy with it. Like, it looked alright. Like, my front doubles it's a good pose when I'm on stage. I think it just looks shit on my own, and I'm not a massive fan of it, so I just don't really post it. I do hit it, and like, it actually isn't a bad pose. I'm not going to lose a show off a front double, but it's not like a lights out pose for me, so I don't really like to do it. Like, it's funny because, like, for an open bodybuilder, if you said to me hit a front double, I'd much rather do like a classic sort of like arm up front double with a twist or something like that. Like, that looks good for me, but a front double standard, yeah, I'm not a massive fan. So yeah, how would the most simple peak week look like to you? So honestly, just freshen up and then have a slight fill up, find the look you're happy with, and then ride it into the show. So I would say, like, a lot of people overcomplicate peak weeks. Like, I look really good today. If I was competing in a few days, I could just literally rock up on stage like this. I wouldn't really need to peak. Like, when you can, like, let's say right now it's 7:10. I trained legs earlier. My legs are super vascular. I can literally see them now. They're vascular, they're grainy, they're hard, pretty inflamed, to be fair. So that would maybe not be ideal. But, like, ideally, you just chill out into the build of the show, bring down cardio, or bring out cardio, bring down steps, stop taking things that are putting you into a major deficit, so at least bring that down, and then literally just ride into the show with minimal stress, not making huge manipulations to fluid or anything like that, and then just linear load your carbs until you found a look where you're like, right, I'm not bursting full, but I'm full enough. And then when you get a good pump, you'll be sound. And also as well, try and situate your times of training to the time you're going to be on stage. So literally just turn up, train at the same sort of time, see how you look, and then that'll be a good indicator towards how you're going to look on the day. Like, for example, when I was in PCA, I was like doing my check-ins at like late morning, early afternoon when I'd be on stage, and then I was doing another check-in like 5 PM if I was into the overall, and I always look better at that point because I'd had more time, I had more meals and stuff like that. For Two Bros weekend just gone, I was on early doors and I knew that I needed to have fluid. Annoyingly, I was a little bit dehydrated because I got the show timings wrong, but if I got the show timings right, I think I could have been a little bit better, especially with the pump. So yeah. I actually got another question about front double. Will you ever actually post one? Yeah, I got 2 questions about front double. Oh my god, people noticing. What the fuck? Right. Why high dose GH before bed, not split dose? Because splitting doses of GH is fucking stupid. when you split doses of GH, you're literally going to be ruining blood glucose levels. You're going to be spiking blood glucose. You're going to be causing insulin resistance, especially if mixed in with a high carbohydrate approach diet. I like splitting GH if you're doing it fasted in the morning, intramuscular, in a prep-based setting with hours until your first meal, especially carb meal. I've been doing that. I literally do 2 to 3 IUs of GH in the morning on rest days with fasted activity to follow. And from a fat lipolysis standpoint, that's great. If you want to be super mega optimal, do it with your last time that you go to the toilet in the night, like, so it's already in your system, so it's going to be ready to go by the time you wake up. So you could pin your GH at 10 p.m, you then wake up at, let's say, 6 a.m, you go to the toilet at 3:30 to 4 a.m, pin your GH intramuscular there, do your fasted cardio at 6:37 after you've hydrated and maybe had a black coffee, and then you'll be good to go from there. So like, that's kind of like the way that I'd look upon it and do that. If you want to be super mega optimal. But like the whole like splitting up GH, like honestly, it's the reason why a lot of bodybuilders ran into insulin resistance issues and blood glucose issues and fucking diabetic issues with loads of insulin needed, because they're constantly taking GH and then constantly eating carbohydrates, and every time we do this we're creating stress. Not gonna be ideal. Okay, Moxy year round, or does it really just shine in a deficit? Moxy definitely shines more within a deficit, but also as well within its lesser lethargy benefits when it comes to how you feel, energy output, insulin sensitivity is fantastic in the off season. I don't think you need loads in the off season. I think 0.5 milligram 3 to 5 times a week in the off season is going to be more than enough. I think in prep, going up to 1 to 2 milligrams daily, probably 14 milligrams maximal load would be something I'd probably think about. But realistically, Moxy year round, I've kept it in year round since I've had it in about 18 to 20-ish months ago. So yeah, that'd be that. Right, Lion Flex, I'm so sorry, it's one of my clients. Why oat milk and not skimmed? Preference, bro. Just enjoy oat milk. That's literally it. Yeah, so I haven't had, I say that, I actually have. I've had oat milk as my post-show treat. I had a oat milk latte, and it was fucking lovely. I have oat milk in my off-seasons on rest days. That is literally it, and it's literally down to just preference and enjoyment. Skim milk, objectively, is probably better calorie-wise. I just don't like skim milk. I don't really drink milk. I say that I don't drink milk. I don't think dairy should really be involved within bodybuilders' diets. If you're having a fucking coffee with milk in every day, multiple coffees with milk in, the only one I could understand maybe is like a flat white. But if you're getting like a latte every single day with sugar-free fucking sauce and stuff like that, or sugar-free syrup, go and test your blood glucose afterwards. It's going to be upregulated. It's not going to be as good. You're going to partition nutrients worse. It's also excess calories that your body just doesn't need. So like, it's something I'd just be a bit mindful of like trying to avoid, basically. So yeah, like on a rest day, cool. And if you really want to, and your food's really high and you're fitting to your calories, sound. But I just think there's better choices personally. So yeah, that'd be that. When did you know men's physique wasn't for you? When I got beat by a fucking natural who was like 40 kilos, 30 kilos lighter than me. And like, I say it as a joke, it literally was the case. I was in a class, there was 3 other gentlemen, they all looked fairly similar, and I got moved straight into the middle, and then I got beat by somebody who I genuinely would have had 4th in the show. He had the best midsection, which I don't think is just men's physique. And then the following week I did a 2-bro show, got 3rd out of 3rd in a novice class, which is incredibly embarrassing. And then the overall winner looked fantastic. I think he might be an IFBB pro now, but I wasn't impressed by his physique in regards to being a bodybuilder. I was like, if that's what they're going for, like, his waist was a quarter of the size of mine when it came to insertions. His taper, he was a lot narrower than me. He didn't have the same musculature. He just was really round and bubbly. And I was just a bit like, I can never look like that. Like, no matter what I do, there's not a single chance I'm ever going to look like that. And if that's getting rewarded, cool, men's physique isn't for me. And also as well, the way that I was growing, the way that I train, I was just like, I want to get fucking jacked. Like, in my head, I signed up to do men's physique, but within 6 weeks out from that first show, I knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't look like a men's physique guy. So yeah, that was that. Why do the authorities on UK bodybuilding disregard Rebounds working? Because everyone in the UK fucking copies each other. That's unfortunately part of the process. Everyone copies J3U, everyone copies Cuba. Both of these guys, or both of John Jewett and Cuba, have ran Rebounds in the past. I'm not saying that they don't all the time say they work, but it's very normal now for them to stay really, really lean and when you're a pro, you've done it for a long time, you can do that. When you don't need to put on significant amounts of tissue, you can do that. But what got them there was not doing rebounds. It wasn't them staying super lean in off seasons. Cuba's had plenty of off seasons where he was super fat. John Jewett had an off season where he rebounded super fucking hard after finishing in the heavies into then the super heavies and winning the overall the following year at NPC Nationals. I'm sorry, rebounds are things that you sometimes have to do if health markers and age / well-being is on your side, but at the same time I think it does really depend like on kind of who you listen to. I know the guys I listen to, they like rebounds. I also think rebounds can be really fucking stupid if you've got a guy who's done a 26-week contest prep, he's had training for 16 weeks, he had orals in for 12, his body's fucked, and he's like, yeah, and his coach is like, yeah, let's run a rebound, bro. It's like, yeah, man, cool, speed run your way into fucking your EGFR being in the bin, your lipids being fucked, and then you have to take so long in the off season to get your health markers in a good spot, or you just carry on cranking things, and as a result your body never gets any breaks, and then you're just going to be basically fighting an uphill battle. So yeah, anything you do for your hair, mostly genetics play a role, but at the same time I'm very on top of hair quality stuff. So I will use RU58841. I use this pretty much every 5 times a week. I will use topical minoxidil as well. I will also derma-roll like my hairline here to keep things nice and fucking sharp, so keep growth here. Like as you can see, like my hairline's pretty fucking good at this point. Like I definitely will say when I get it permed, because it curls up here, you can kind of see like these things, it looks like it almost goes back a little bit, but I think that's more so just the perm, if I'm being honest. Like my hairline, okay, I'd say it definitely isn't as good as it was maybe 5 years ago, but I'm also 27, so at this point my hair's pretty good. I don't think I'll be going to Turkey anytime soon, which is cool, but I will say it is probably genetics, it's probably that as well, with all the stuff that I've done there. And then as well, like taking GHKCU, glow consistently, staying on top of cortisol management, making sure general health is good, and well-being is good, not being silly with PDs as well. Like as much as like I will take a bit more now than I was beforehand, like I've worked up and scaled things up slowly. Oh fuck, my hair looks weird now. It's a problem with the perm, guys. You have to like mess it up and then eventually it just looks fine. So I usually just run water through it and then just leave it, and then yeah, it looks like uneven. Fucked my hairline, guys. Speaking about hairlines, my hairline's fucked now. That looks alright. So yeah, but yeah, and then yeah, other than that, like I am very critical of my hair. If I do notice my hair start to fucking look shit, I am 100% going to Turkey. But for now, it's all good. So yeah. That being said, any hair clinics that want to sort you out of a transplant in the future, drop me a message. I'm not saying it's needed now. Probably won't be needed for a few years. But if I'm getting to Olympia, sorry, that testo is probably going to get a little bit higher. You never know. So yeah, but I would say I think I'll be okay. Like my hair hasn't changed in the last couple of years, really, at all. Other than me just getting it permed. Which, to be fair, that's probably worse than fucking taking gear for my hair. Usually towards after like 2 or 3 months, my hair definitely after the perm looks a little bit like a bit shit. So yeah. Right. Let's have a look. What did your lifestyle cycle split that saw you make the most progress? So lifestyle is the lifestyle that I've lived for the last few years. Having my own gym that's 5 minutes down the road, being able to pose whenever the fuck I want, being able to, let's say, have a kitchen on hand in the gym, at home, not live in a house that was like my family house where I was like it was more so I go into the kitchen when like my granddad or my mum wasn't in there and stuff like that. Where like now I can obviously prep my meals, get everything done. My food's literally like ready to go whenever. I have physio work on a weekly basis / bi-weekly, so sometimes 2 times a week. All that sort of stuff. Obviously from a financial standpoint, I can run whatever the fuck I want. I can run high dose of GH, I can run Increlex if I need to. All that sort of stuff like that plays a big role. And then as well, like when it comes to cycle, running high test, not doing the low test approach, I think is definitely really good for me. And then training split, I don't really think my training really changes like massively. It's just depending on what I can do in the week. I don't think I've ever changed to a split and thought, oh my god, this progress is nutty. As a result, probably don't need to speak too much about training splits directly. Don't think it's going to make a huge difference there. Right. Do you rate injectable pre-workouts as stick to drinks? I really like injectable pre's. I really like injectable. I really like non-stim pre's. I do both when it comes to where things are. Find it crazy you're able to offer so much help on here when you're already a high-level coach and a top-class athlete. Your work ethic is incredible. Thank you ever so much. That genuinely means a lot. Like, that's what I kind of want to do. Like, I do want to do things slightly differently. Like, I think you get the side of things where it's like you're a coach, example, you're a bodybuilder or you're an educator, and I kind of think I can do all things very, very well while communicating efficiently, putting it out there on content for you guys, and just like essentially showcasing the process and showcasing like what you need to do to be good at this shit, sort of shit. So yeah, like, and I say that with all my clients, like I fucking love what I do. Like I'm so privileged to be able to do what I do. So like to be able to put it out there and have anyone listen, / anyone want to pay me for fucking coaching or anything like that, like I find that still a bit crazy. It's as much as I know that I'm good at what I fucking do, I still think to myself, Jesus Christ, like me having, let's say since starting this video, I've had 8 clients message me. In the last week, I've had over 30 coaching applications. If I refresh my emails now, let's see. Oh, I haven't had any. That would have been cool. Yeah, I've had over 30 applications in the last, week, last like 5 days, which is really fucking cool. Like that many people wanting me to help them, wanting to learn how things are. I have consults, literally like every day at this point, which is mental for people to pay me for an hour of my time. But like, yeah, I fucking love this shit. So yeah, best way to bring up outer quads, watch my YouTube videos, watch my Instagram outer quads, is solely down to my training. So yeah, how did you manage to keep your waist small even though you're blasting a lot of GH? Honestly, I think the GH blasting thing is an absolute fucking myth. It definitely will contribute if you're an idiot, but I would personally say GH is something that you have to understand, obviously the mechanisms of action, but realistically, eat clever, eat low volume foods, don't fucking binge, don't eat shit, make sure you're practicing your posing, make sure you're practicing your stomach control. Like if I did these videos topless, I have my stomach all the time. If I move this, hopefully the audio doesn't cut off, please. Yeah, if I do this now, my stomach, oh my tongue's fucking blurry as shit, my stomach is never pushed out, my stomach is always retracting. It doesn't actually look like it here. Like if I sit back, let's go, like here, like my stomach is always tight. I am never sat here with like my stomach pushed forward or anything like that. This tan really fucking, I'm standing up because this is like that. Yeah, here my stomach is always tight. Like I am never pushed forward or anything like that. Like my stomach is always tight. I always have control over my midsection, all that sort of stuff. So as a result, that's gonna help. But like I said, I think not fucking eating off plan, not binging, eating clean year round, eating really well digestible foods over and over again, like not being bloated, not being fucking whatever, like you're just eating shit just because you're like, oh, I'm eating shit or whatever, and I'm just gonna continue doing this, or I'm having a massive bowl of cream of rice with loads of water that's bloating the fuck out of me. On my high days in prep, my volume of food is lower. I would love to have a big bowl of cream of rice. I don't. I keep the volume the same. I use honey, I use jams, I'll use bananas, I'll use really low volume foods, I'll mix everything in together. I use top quality supplements like whey iso and stuff like that constantly. I will buy good quality meats, the best quality steaks, stuff like that all play a role. So yeah, it all kind of goes hand in hand when it comes to where things are, okay? Right, appealing that shit. Did you use injectable oral superdrol did you use injectable or oral superdrol pre-stage? So I used injectable injectable superdrol all through the peak, and it is very good, very, very good. I would say it's a lot better than oral superdrol. I take it on my high days and in the peaks, and like genuinely feel like I am bursting full. I can feel like my cheeks feeling like fuller, like everything feels fuller when I take superdrol, and I just feel like expanded within like a few hours. So the nutrient uptake benefits, the training benefits, the strength benefits, yeah, very, very, very good, like really, really potent. I do have oral superdrol on hand, but I don't think I'm gonna need it personally. 5 amino injectable dose last few weeks of prep. 1 to 2 milligrams would be more than enough. You could probably push it up. We have 50 milligram vials. I could easily do 5 milligrams a day and see. I mean, yeah, maybe, but I'd say honestly, a couple milligrams would be more than enough. I think there's some benefit towards pinning it in the areas that are a little bit more stubborn, so into your glutes, into your lower back, etc., if those areas are a bit more stubborn. For no other reason than just a bit of anecdotal findings, I found that I'm a little bit tighter for those areas when I pin it into those areas from like a composition change standpoint. So Something to think about. How aggressive do you plan on making your rebound if it's only 3 to 4 weeks versus a larger one? So I put up a story yesterday about like basically, and these are from yesterday's questions by the way. I put up a story being like I'm planning on doing like a 3 to 4 week rebound, and that's from a PD standpoint. The rebound will probably be longer, especially if how esters work. Like, I'm still going to have the drugs in my system for a good couple of weeks after, while also utilising utilising GH and stuff like that. So like, will I be aggressive? I'll be as aggressive as I need to be. I'm not going to try and be 30 to 40 pounds up, but I'll be a solid. Let's say I finish this prep weight at like 270, 265 to 270. I'd like to be back up to like 285 to 290 pretty fucking quick. And then I'd like to say like I started prep at 310. I'd like to get back to like 300 probably within 6 to 8 weeks. Then hold, cruise, come down maybe to 285 to 290 and then go to 320, 330 on the push. That being said, I think with how my body is going to respond after this prep, I would be very surprised if I can't get to like peak body weight, like 315, 320 in the rebounds before the health phase if I was to be like super on point with shit, especially with Increlex, especially with GH at high doses and stuff. And then as well, I'm going to be utilising Trashiba insulin, so first time I'm utilising that. So I'll see, but like it's one of those sort of things. It's not I'm going to eat clean, I'll stick to my plan, I'll do my cardio, and I'll just see kind of where things fall, okay? So yeah, I'm predicting you doing the amateur Romania, maybe, but I don't know, don't think so. Right, if the Olympia is the goal for you, if yes, how many years do you think we need to get there? So I wouldn't really say the Olympia is the goal because I've not actually got a pro card yet. Like if I get a pro card, then I guess that's going to be the goal of winning a pro show. But like I haven't really thought that far ahead, and I don't really like to. Like I quite just like to go through the process of bodybuilding and just enjoy it, and then wherever that puts me, that would be where I'm at. So yeah, like is the Olympia the goal? I mean, probably I'd like to get there, but also if I don't get there, I'm not gonna fucking cry and go, oh my god, I didn't get to Olympia, guys, I'm a waste of time, I'm a failure. There are plenty of fantastic bodybuilders who do not get to Olympia. Sanaya, I say this all the time, she could be pregnant in the next couple of years. We could be setting up a family. I have so many businesses on hand, and stuff that I do like work-wise, that I need to prioritize that at times, and that pays the bills. You know, like right now, bodybuilding is a hobby. You know, in a few years, might be very, very different. It might also be a case of maybe I've not got the same drive. We will see. Like, I don't place too much pressure on anything other than what do I want to do in the moment to make me feel good. Right now, it's bodybuilding. In 3 years, it probably, most likely, will be the same, but it might not be. So, like, the Olympia, is it the goal? Yes, in a sense. Do I think I can get there? Yes. The way that I'm growing, I think personally, 3 years max. By the time I'm 30, I think I could be at the Olympia. By the time I'm 32 to 33, I think I could be a pretty fucking good Olympian. And then from that point, it's a question of if I'm getting better. That's literally it. Like, once I hit my peak, if my peak is fucking 14th place and I have to take 6 grams of gear or something like that, or have to put my health at major jeopardy to go from 14th to 11th, that's not going to be too good. But would I maybe take more risk if I'm going from 4th to 2nd? Maybe so. So it depends. But the way that I'm growing, the way that my physique is responding, the way that I'm enjoying things, I'd be silly not to be aiming as high as fucking possible, personally. So, yeah. Next one. Thoughts on splitting 40 minutes cardio with 2 sessions, 1 fasted, 1 post-workout? I mean, so what, 2020? You could. I don't like cardio post-workout. I think it's a bit silly. Like, yeah, it's easy, your heart rate's up. I think unless the cardio intensity starts to really tail off, just do it fasted or do less and just do more steps. Unless you can't keep your heart rate up and it's like, this is fucking shit, or you're waking up and it's impacting sleep. But personally, I'd say don't do cardio post-workout. Do cardio in the evening after you've had some meals, after your training session, and then go from there. So like in an ideal world, do it all fasted, or do it away from the workout window. That's kind of what I'd say. If you do need to split it up, then that's cool, but I probably wouldn't do post-workout personally. As well, preference, I just don't like doing cardio post-workout. When I'm in the gym, finish the session, the last thing I want to do is cardio. Like, I just want to get out of the gym. I want to eat, I want to get out of the gym, I want to get myself back into a good spot to recover. Moxy and SLU really make a difference in prep. How much is good starting dose? Yes, they make a massive difference. Moxy, said this before dosing wise, I actually said in this video. And then SLU, as high as you can run without your insides feeling like they're getting absolutely cooked on fire. High dose SLU is fantastic. I've done previous podcasts on that. If you look at the solo Q&As, I think it's even in one of the titles. Do steps count separately outside of cardio? For me, yes, because steps are neat, so non-expenditure activity thermogenesis. Cardio is different to that, so that's actually direct expenditure. I try for them not to coincide. So if I was doing the Stairmaster, which I was for 2-3 weeks of this prep, I was doing 20. I was doing 20 to 30 to 40 minutes. I was looking at my steps before, I was looking at my steps after, and I was deducting the amount of steps away from my daily total at the end of the day. So yeah. Most ideal post-show rebound scenario. Have a reel coming out about this, so stay tuned for that, guys. A few more. What's your cardio protocol during prep and the rebound? So during prep, whatever the fuck it is to get the look that I need. For me, usually it's daily, other than maybe on my main leg day. So yeah, 20 to 40 minutes is what I've got. So I peaked at 40 minutes as prep. I don't actually have cardio in currently directly, but I'm gonna do like 20 minutes on a rest day just for routine and for some health benefits and as well to keep myself fit. And then rebound will be probably every day, but like every day 20 to 30 minutes on the bike. So that'll be that. Right, let's go. We had some questions about kit at the gym. We had the new Mark 1 Salix leg press land at TPC. We also are getting a Nautilus chest press tomorrow, which is pretty fucking cool. So Nautilus natural chest press, and then we also have the Mega Mass T-bar row coming in September, so like in a month, which is going to be mega mass. And then yeah, so are we getting rid of any kit? Yeah, so we didn't actually need to get rid of any kit for the Mark 1 leg press. We just moved a few things around. We're going to get rid of the Cybex Mark 2 shoulder press. I said get rid, we're going to put it in storage. The Mega Mass T-bar will find space because there is space. We've already got a plan for that. And then any plans to expand in the future? Yes, we are literally going to get the unit next door, so it'll be double. We're just waiting for them to move out. So yeah, think you can still build muscle while having one high rep session weekly alongside upper lower? Yeah, man, you might just be a bit gay. So if you don't mind being gay, feel free. If you coach any bodybuilder, can be unrealistic. Who? I said Sam Sulek because I think we vibe quite well. I actually don't watch really any of his stuff. Sorry, Sam, not like you'd be watching this. But I imagine, who do you guys reckon if you got this part of the video? I think me and Sam would get on quite well. I feel like we've got a similar sort of vibe from what I can tell. Like, I don't think he's super pumped. Like, he's not super amped up. He's quite a relaxed dude. I feel like I'm quite like that. Maybe I'm a little bit funnier, maybe a little more sarcastic. I don't know, I'd like to say, so I don't know, Sam's a cool dude. I think me and Sam would be cool, but I don't know if Sam would need a coach. Like, he's doing really, really well. I just think it would be cool to do it with somebody like Sam with his aspirations and where things are. And worst case scenario, fucking Sani Rambod can help him out opposing because she's a opposing coach. And brother desperately needs that shit, definitely. When's the next show? Soon. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What is the TPC gym playlist? Reese Rap TPC, if you type that in on Spotify, like Reese Rap with no spaces, and then TPC, that's a playlist that I just made just to put on just some like nice rap songs. I say rap is a bit like hip hop R&B, but like that's not always on, that's just on in the mornings when I do my cardio and pose. I need to add some more songs to that, but that's just some cool songs. That's not really a gym playlist sort of vibe, I just think it's just quite some cool songs. So yeah, and then last few, Reese, what do you prefer, low dose tren or big dose? Yeah, cool, I can get this is going to be the title. High dose tren, low dose tren, oh my god. So, low dose tren, it depends really on where things are. Like, from a glucocorticoid, a receptor activation standpoint, honestly, we don't need a lot. 70 milligrams a week is more than enough. I actually think the studies are even lower than that. I think it's honestly like down to like a couple milligrams a day can give you the activation purposes and the thyroid upregulation and stuff like that. I think tren is something that is massively misunderstood, but also at the same time, when we're talking about strictly progress potential, 100 milligram of tren is going to give us far greater returns than 100 milligrams of any other compound. So if we're looking at like direct, okay, this is what I'm going to take for X result, taking tren probably going to do as good amount when it comes to milligram load, and not having to push the dose up so much higher, where like people are going, oh, I'm a safe use model, but I'm doing a gram of mass and a gram of primo, and it's like, yeah, you could just do 200 tren or anything like that, or take like some fucking Winstrol and stuff like that. I really like tren for the people that they get on well with it. I don't see any major negatives with tren, and I've actually ran my tren this prep higher than I've ever ran it before. Still very, very moderate, like in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, like I did last year's prep on 100 milligrams. I think anywhere from 100 to anywhere from 70 to 200 to 300, depending on how experienced you are, will be more than enough. Like more than enough. And as a result, like big dose from other compounds, I think it depends really on where things are within the stack design and how things are going to be. And then, right, final question. Let's see if there's actually other ones that maybe I'd go to. Yep, okay. Yeah, final question. Do you find it harder in push food in the off season or for restricting food pre-contest, 1,000,000% without doubt, off seasons are harder for me at this point. If you said to me, gun to my head, where would I rather be? How I feel now in between shows or peak off season? It would be how I feel now without even thinking about it. That being said, I'd like my dick to work. That would be great. I'd like to look at scenario and think, wow, I've got a really attractive fiance. I still think that, but there's no internal drive for fucking sex at this point. So that's a bit shit. And I'd like my sleep to be a bit better. So maybe 3 to 4 weeks out where like those mechanisms are still okay. But if you said to me like day-to-day life, movement, going for a walk, how I feel, yeah, I'm a little bit draggier and a little bit slower, my legs are a little bit heavier, but I feel a lot better than when I did a fucking 310. Jesus Christ, like pushing food is hard. Like if I didn't bodybuild, I wouldn't eat that much. I'm not a massive eater. I don't really enjoy the off seasons as much, but it's just needed to be done at this point for me to grow and improve my physique. So as a result, it's just like, suck it up, buttercup. That's literally what it's like. But I also think as well, like I've done so many preps where like if you said to me when I first prepped, like when I finished my first prep, fucking hell, the thought of prepping again, I would have been like, absolutely fucking not. I did not want to prep. I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm even going to do that shit again. I probably will, but give me a year or two. Where like I finished prep last year, and if you had said to me, gun to my head, a month post prep again, I would have been like, yeah, cool, I could do it, that's fine. I would probably prefer a little bit longer, but I could definitely do it. And I think especially with the peptides, the way that you can keep your brain and your body feeling, it does make preps a lot easier when you know how to manage those external variables. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, fuck being in the off season for longer than you need at this point for me as a super heavyweight open bodybuilder. But that is somebody who's pushing 6, 7, 8,000 calories. I say off-plan food like my rest days I'd finish with like an off-plan homemade meal, like an unlimited bowl of fucking chicken and rice or pasta and fucking beef or something like that, to the point of like feeling full, feeling super fucking lethargic, super fucking heavy, constantly fucking tired, like just nah, fuck that shit. And this is me in between shows, and like the thought of the off season now is quite exciting, because I can't wait to fucking get like super fucking, not strong, because I've not actually got weaker, but I can't wait to feel like I'm in the off season again training wise, even though my training is pretty good. But I thought off season right now is quite cool, but like yeah, I'd much rather be in prep, like that's without doubt. So yeah, sweet, right, cool, sound, leave it there, peace, fucking on, snazzy, sound, right, catch you later guys, like, comment, subscribe, bye bye.